My mind really switched from making money to servicing and becoming, a provider of an excellent quality product. And that's when my life changed, because now when you don't work for the money, everything changes. You do it for the right reasons, you reach the right people, you get noticed more because you have a passion for what you do.
Are you ready to transform your life? This is a no-nonsense show helping immigrants like you create generational wealth, even while working full-time. Get ready to take notes. Here's your host, Saket Jain.
Welcome, everyone. Today I have my very good friend, Mr. Wagner Nolasco. As you'll see, he's a very good-looking guy. He doesn't agree with that. Let's just acknowledge that. Hey, Wagner, thank you again for coming on the show, man. I appreciate it.
Saket, thank you so much for having me. Good morning. Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you guys are doing well. Thank you for the opportunity.
Awesome. I know you're coming back from a crazy travel schedule with 3 kids in one room locked with you. So it should be fun, man. I'm hoping that you're going to bring us some more family stories.
Yes, I have a lot of great family stories. Just an advice to you, if you really want to bond with your kids, stay on a cruise for 7 days with them and have every meal with them. It's going to change your life positively. And it's going to teach you patience. I'm not Gandhi, but I learned some patience here.
Well, I'm pretty sure we all need lessons in patience. And kids, nothing better than kids to teach you that.
Amen. Yes, absolutely.
Well, Wagner, thank you again for coming in. We're excited to have you here on. Man, I just want to remind my audience, as I do every time, our show is Migrate to Wealth. The most important word is not wealth. As surprising as it may sound, it's actually the word migrate, which is all about creating intentional transformation for your life, living the life that you designed by yourself. On that note, Wagner, let's open up. I know you don't need introduction in the circles that you are, but my audience may be new to you. Help us understand what you do, where you come from. Give us a little bit of background on you.
So yes, Saket, thank you so much. I've been in the construction and development industry for almost 22 years in the U.S. Originally born in Brazil. I worked as a valet parking attendant, cleaned restaurants, owned a granite company, and all the way to now becoming a developer, a builder. We do property management. We own an insurance company. So we're a fully integrated company that offers investment properties, new construction to investors worldwide. We're the largest ones in Central Florida and one of the largest in Florida. We have about $750 million of development underway right now as we speak. So from zero to a lot with a great team. It's a big American dream for us.
That's awesome, man. That's a very powerful story. We're very happy for you for the success you've accomplished. I'm pretty sure you're going to beat any goals you've had established for yourself. So thank you again.
No, thank you for having me. I really appreciate. And as you said, being an immigrant as well and migrating is a very important topic. So we're here to share and to try to assist everybody that has a dream like we did one day, and we continue to live it.
Thank you for sharing that story. Help us understand your migration story, like your journey into wherever you are right now. Was it intentional? Was it accidental? How you designed it?
Basically, what happened is it was not intentional. And my father was a bank executive for Bank of Brazil, which is a federal bank. And in 1991, during a bank robbery, he got shot 5 times. Thank God he survived.
Oh,
yeah. So, you're also from India. So when we come from different countries, we have different perspectives, different realities, and that actually changes a lot. And unfortunately, we're a victim. In 1993, my family decided to migrate to the U.S., and it's going to be 30 years next year that I've been here. It's been a big, big dream of mine to always love the U.S. since I was a kid, watching the movies and dreaming about, one day an FBI agent, which was my biggest dream.
Did you end up becoming an FBI agent?
I did not, but I became a police officer.
So, you did? I did not know that. Wow.
I did.
That's awesome.
I'll share with you.
Well, thank you for your service.
You're welcome. We migrated to the U.S. So I've been very lucky to meet amazing people that supported me throughout my life here in the U.S. And
awesome.
It became my passion to give back, because this country has given me so much that the only thing I can do is give back a little bit. So I'm just very blessed to be here. If you're thinking about immigrating or migrating anywhere, not necessarily to the U.S., know that you are a different breed. You are a stronger person with a different will than anybody else, because it takes a lot of commitment, a lot of courage, a lot of self-care to pretty much put yourself in a position that you're going to be not knowing the language fully, not knowing the culture, not knowing
Right.
where to live or how, the weather, how your family is going to react. So it's not for everybody, and it's okay, right?
Yeah.
But some
Yeah.
of us are different. That's why we come to the US or anywhere you go and you conquer, because you are a different breed. You're a special person.
I love that. I love that, Wagner. I think it's more migration, while on theory is amazing. I will talk specifically about physical migration. Then we'll take a next step from there. It's I remember my story, man. It's just kind of like I remember it was nerve wracking. I did not know anybody here. I had no family member here when I came in, and it's in looking back. I'm like, what was I thinking? But I'm glad I did. Right, just I'm sure as you did as well.
Yes, absolutely. So diving a little bit deep is I started a granite company because my grandfather had never finished high school, but he was a very successful businessman. Even though he was not book smart, he was a very smart guy with a lot of integrity, and some of the principles that I carry to this day that I have learned from him, which is, you're born with a name and you die with the same name. To make a long story short, I started very small. I did over 400 flips, which is
Nice.
some people call turnkey. And now we are in the new construction. So we have delivered over $700 million worth of product to investors. I semi-retired in 2016 because of real estate. So passive income really works. And I invest in single family homes, townhomes, anything that can give me passive income. So if you're listening to this show and you don't know what passive income is, I put my money to work for me. I buy a house, I use leverage mortgages from the bank, and whatever that delta is, you multiply that by the amount of houses you own, and that should be enough for you to live. So my goal is really to, for the first of the month to arrive, because that's when the rent is due and I collect my rent. So
I love
this
that.
month, yeah, I mean, it's the first of the month, and this month I was actually in a cruise ship. So I think the first of the month was a Thursday of last week, I believe it is.
Yeah.
And I was in a cruise ship in St. Martin on the beach with my family. When my tenants were paying my rent, I was living the dream with my family. I'm 43 years old, very blessed to be in this amazing country, but I have achieved some pretty amazing stuff that I never thought that I would. I have earned in 2017 a Lifetime Service Achievement Award by President Donald Trump.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been a volunteer for the United States Coast Guard for a long time. I have been a division chief for international affairs, so I took care of 22 islands in the Caribbean. I signed a lot of international cooperation agreements between Puerto Rico, which is the U.S. territory, with in Santo Domingo, which is the Dominican Republic, which is the Armada, which is their Navy up there, and the U.S. Coast Guard. So I was very active in international affairs, and this is all work. Meanwhile, I'm carrying my business and living, with my family. In 2017 as well, I went to Alaska on a motorcycle from Key West to Alaska and back.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, honoring our veterans. So you got to make your life a life full of passion. So it has to have a meaning, right? And second knows, because we belong to a very, very selective group of individuals, that it's an inner circle for the real estate guys. And really, we always talk about the why, right?
Right.
If you have the why, everything else explains itself. And my why is really to give back to my family, to the community that gave me so much. So I'm very, very blessed. But everything changed for me in 2013, Sakit. So I was doing a flip, and of course, there's nothing wrong for working for the money. I wanted to make $1 million. I made $1 million, and then it's $5 million, and then it never ends, right?
Yeah.
But in 2013, I usually don't go to the title companies. Title companies, if you guys don't know, is where we sign paperwork when we purchase or sell a property. I was actually signing this property over. I was selling a property to this young couple, and it was in an upcoming but very dangerous neighborhood in Orlando, Florida. It's called Pine Hills, and we have a joke that says that Pine Hills sells better than Beverly Hills. Yeah, so this lady came to me and she says, "Can I take a picture with you?" And I'm like, that's strange, but yeah, sure. Why? And I asked her, I says, "Wait, sure, I'll take a picture with you, but why would you like to take a picture with me?" She's like, "Well, because today I'm buying my first home, which is one of my biggest dreams." And that really put me into perspective. Like, when you're delivering a product, it's not only a product. It may be a block and granite and roof tile and concrete to you, but it's somebody else's dream. It's somebody else's home. So that really changed my perspective. And I started building better product because I wanted to deliver a better product for the recipient. And that really changed my life. My mind really switched from making money to servicing and becoming, a provider of an excellent quality product. And that's when my life changed, because now when you don't work for the money, everything changes. You do it for the right reasons. You reach the right people. You get noticed more because you have a passion for what you do. So my advice to you is, if you're listening to this, is I know if you migrate anywhere, if you're an immigrant, you're going to have to do jobs that maybe don't provide you the level of comfort or the interest that you may have, but that is only a stepping stone, right? I was listening to Jim Rohn, and this was actually recorded in the 90s, and people were discussing about minimum wage. And should minimum wage be, just an example, $10 or $11 an hour? Mm-hmm. And he says, who cares? Who cares what minimum wage is? You should only care what minimum wage is if you plan to make minimum wage for the rest of your life.
True.
Right?
Very powerful statement.
If you're planning to be somebody that is actually above and beyond what minimum wage is, then it doesn't matter what the minimum wage is, because this is temporary. And when you provide quality, when you provide passion in what you do, doesn't matter if you're a janitor. If you do it with passion, you're going to be noticed. Doesn't matter if you valet parking. Doesn't matter if you're a construction worker. Right. You will be valued. Somebody's going to recognize the talent, that love, and it's going to pay for you to be there and to do the best as you can. So my advice to every immigrant is, doesn't matter what your job is. As long as it's legal, it's honorable, you will succeed, because somebody's going to notice your talent. Most important to everybody that is listening to this, my dream, as I had mentioned in the beginning of this recording, it was to become an FBI agent when I was a kid. My other grandfather in Brazil, he was a police chief. So I always loved, law enforcement and things like that. Being a volunteer for the Coast Guard, I always loved to have action in my life. So I became, when I semi-retired, which I did, which sucks. I don't recommend anybody to semi-retired or retire. That will kill you. Yeah. It's boring. You can only fish or play golf or do nothing for a while. It becomes boring. I went to the police academy and I became a police officer. So I did that. Meanwhile, running my businesses, and nobody does anything alone. Just to let you know, one of the biggest investments you can make once you have your own business, if you're an entrepreneur, is to invest in a team. This is the best investment you're going to have. So we have profit sharing implemented in our businesses. We're actually opening up now an equity position for our employees that are recognized as, so we wanted to make sure the team grows and everybody is actually looking for the same vision as we are. But my advice to you is, believe in yourself, prepare yourself, because the definition of luck is when preparation meets opportunity, right? If you are prepared, the opportunity will come. But the opportunity will come even if you're not prepared. So what would you rather be? Prepared for an opportunity to arrive or not? Because I remember a second, and you probably did as well, some of the opportunities that are presented today, if they were presented to me 15 years ago, 10 years ago, they wouldn't mean anything to me. Yeah. So it requires knowledge, vision, an open mind to identify a good opportunity. And the biggest opportunity you're going to find in your life is the people. Is the people you surround yourself with. Definitely. Because those people are your friends, your family, people that you can trust, that you enjoy being around. Invest in yourself so you can attract better people. You are a reflection of the 5 closest people around you. Yeah. And take that seriously, because it is true. My God, Wagner, you have thrown so much gold in there, man. We need to take a step back in everything that you've said so that we can draw some insights from there, right? I think let's pick the first one that you have talked about, the passive income, right? So, passive income is important, but let's talk about why is it important? When did you feel your migration towards passive income? Because I'm sure, like me and like most of my listeners, you didn't grow up with a passive income mindset. You grew up with a mindset of, let's do X, Y, and Z to find a X, Y, and Z job, which is going to give you X, Y, and Z dollars, and your life's going to be set, and you're going to spend a lot of money doing whatever you like to do, right? That's what we've been trained to in our schooling system, not just in our country, in the US, but everywhere. So what was your migration path to passive income?
And why was it so important to you?
So, great question. I was actually born and prepared and mentally trained to be the best that I can be, to eat the whole food in my plate. I have to be the best, right? Nowadays everything has changed. We know if we eat everything that we have in our plate, because that's the mentality that I was actually raised. To be the best, to make money, to work hard, to be a good employer, to be a good entrepreneur. But, when I noticed that when I left my job, I wasn't allowed to take vacations. If I wasn't there performing, I wasn't making any money as an employee, even as a small business owner. And I noticed that people that I admire after reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, which was a gift to me, is the people that makes the most money is the people that have put their money to invest for them. So, for example, me and Elon Musk and Sack and whomever, we only have 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. The same amount of time that Elon Musk has, that Richard Branson has, is what we have. How do we utilize our time? We need to multiply our efforts. That's when I noticed that, okay, if I buy real estate and I actually have a tenant paying my rent, paying my expenses, paying my mortgage, my insurance, my property taxes, how much is left? And you got to remember, I identify in real estate my biggest dream because I like real assets. I like to touch things. I don't like to buy stocks. I don't have any stocks. I don't like to buy anything that I don't touch. So real assets for me, tangible assets, is really important. Are they always good? Maybe, maybe not, right? It's a personal preference, but I love real assets. Yeah. I also don't like to pay taxes legally.
The last word is very important, legally.
Legally. So I found in real estate a way of actually making passive income, which is a residual between my total expenses and the rent income that I make. Plus, I utilize what we call cost segregation and bonus depreciation because I'm a real estate professional. So I deduct from my taxes. Talking about taxes, you're Indian, and a lot of your listeners are probably doctors or, the Indian community is very active. My wife is also a physician, and physicians, attorneys are the highest taxed people in the US. So we noticed that her income was extremely high taxed and my income was extremely low. Once we start combining and joining our tax returns, I'm like, okay, I got to find a way to offset some of those taxes. And I found that in real estate. But passive income, just to answer that question in particular, is this. I'm sleeping. My houses are making money for me. I'm traveling with my family like I was last week. My houses are making money for me. Invest. It's a very simple answer, Sakit, if you can think about this. When you're young, especially if you're 18, 19, 20 years old, either you play now and you pay later, or you pay now and you play later. So my philosophy in life was, how can I invest the most amount of money into real assets that can generate monthly passive income to me so I can have a good living without me having to presently be there.
Correct.
That's what I thought about it. That's what actually clarity came to me. But after reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I decided when I was young, I'm going to save money, invest in real estate, invest in my business, invest in myself. And be there.
No, I love that.
That's what I did.
I actually love that, Wagner, because, it's a story that a lot of folks like myself have taken a step towards passive income because something bad happened to us, right? You got laid off, you had a health concern, something happened in your life which was negative that essentially forced us to make that decision. But in your case, you actually thought of it very objectively. If I'm going to continue doing this path, I'm not going to find the time to enjoy with my family, to take vacations and all that stuff. I mean, you can, but there's a consequence for that, which is you're not going to get paid, or you're going to get reprimanded, or you're going to get a bad performance. There's going to be a negative consequence for you taking the time away from that. So I love that part, right? I love that part about your real estate journey where we talked a lot about cost segregation, bonus depreciation. For my listeners, if you don't understand that term, do not worry. Essentially, it means there's ways to accelerate your savings in the taxes. And we'll do further videos and that'll go deeper into that topic. But that's essentially what that means right now for you. So it's not just passive income, but it actually has a potential, if you structure it correctly, to offset your active income. And not just your active income, it could be your partner's or your spouse's income as well, active income, W-2 income, or business income as well. So fairly powerful. Love that story, Wagner. Let's talk about one specific thing, which is very different for what you do versus my other guests who have been on the show as well, right? Kind of like a lot of journey has been that after scaling a few properties, after buying 10, 15, 20, whatever that number is, a lot of investors, passive investors are like, this is going to take me 20, 30, 100, maybe 500 years to get to a point where I will be able to scale my portfolio and generate enough passive income. But in your case, you actually dug deeper into the single family townhome, that as an asset class instead of shifting to, apartments or something else. Help us, give us an insight into why did you pick this asset class of single family and townhome versus moving to an asset class that could have potentially higher scale and other benefits that it has. What was the thought process for you?
Well, the thought process for me is this. The highest appreciating asset in real estate historically ever is single family homes.
Okay.
That's number one. And number two, I can sell part of my portfolio. For example, we have hundreds of single family homes in our personal portfolio. I can sell 2 if I needed to. I can sell 3. I can sell 4. I can sell 10. If you want an apartment building, either you sell it all or you don't sell any.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Also, I noticed the migration pattern, especially in Florida, because we're not like New York City, San Francisco, Los Angeles. People want some elbow room. They want some space. So a single family offers, you tend to get better rents on a single family home than actually you do in apartments.
Yeah.
Foremost, what I have noticed as well is this. I actually like to provide a product that is superior in quality. And I have apartments that actually I hold, but I don't like to live in an apartment. And I don't want for anybody else what I don't want for myself.
Yeah.
So if I can provide a higher living, which is going to provide me a higher appreciation, it's going to provide me scalability, because what you got to understand is the compound effect. If you have 2 houses, those 2 houses, if you do everything right and you study and you prepare yourself, because you are your biggest asset. Don't forget that. It's not your portfolio, it's you, right? Because we very well know very successful people have lost everything in 2008 and they have triple what they had now because of who they are and the people that they know and their values and who they are. But at the end of the day, what you wanted to invest is, what do you want for yourself? I wanted to provide high quality product for people that need. For example, it brings me the greatest pleasure when somebody goes into our house that we just finished building and they take their first shower, they cook their first meal.
That's
people
awesome.
that wouldn't be able to afford a house like that, now they're able to rent it. So that gives me great pleasure. Another thing that I don't like about apartments is I don't like to compete against Wall Street. So, who is Wagner Nolasco compared to Blackstone, compared to BlackRock, compared to Goldman Sachs? I'm nobody. Right? So, but I am a little bigger fish in my market because I know where to buy. I have the local knowledge. I have boots on the ground, and they don't. And now they're waking up to go back to single family homes. Why? Why does Blackstone just raise $24 billion to buy single family homes? Because they notice this is the biggest asset class. And for example, if you can't afford a payment, a second, on an apartment building, if you default on your mortgage, you lost all the apartments. If I default in one loan on one house, I can always sell that house. I can do a short sale. So I don't actually sacrifice my whole portfolio in case if I go into financial difficulty.
Definitely.
I like to spread my risk. I like to make more money through appreciation, which is what single family homes do. And we don't work on cap rates. We work on real appreciation. So, and exit strategy, right? I always think, how can I enter into a market to make the most amount of money? And that's actually becoming a builder. So that's what I did. My cost basis is the cost. You cannot buy at less than what it costs to build. So that's it. We bought a lot of land at the right time. God stopped making land a long time ago, unless you're in Dubai or you're the real estate guys with a hotel in Mahogany Bay that you're creating little trends of land on top of the water. So land, if you buy it right, you'll make money. Single family homes, if you buy, the secret about selling and making money is buying right.
I couldn't agree more with you, Wagner. I think, there's a fear and the concern that individuals have. Whereas, so let's say somebody's living in North Carolina, where I am right now. They only want to buy in their locality, right? The local market is where they want to focus on because that's where the comfort factor is. But I think what your team has offered is actually a way for them to partner with you where you can take on the entire management of their portfolio, whether it's a single home or it's hundreds of homes that they have in Florida through you, right? I think talk about that a little bit more because that actually helps individuals take step one to get to that point where they're able to do that.
My advice to everybody is this: live where you want, but invest where it makes sense.
Right.
So if I lived in New York, does it make sense for me to invest in New York City? No, it does not. If I live in San Francisco, North Carolina is anything now in the Sun Belt states. So North Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, Florida, Texas, Arizona are huge markets. And the reason why is because we are expanding. Jobs are coming this way. So sometimes don't be a control freak unless you want a second job. Don't become a property management. You don't know about the laws. You don't know about eviction. You don't have a team that is going to be unclogging a toilet at 3 a.m. You don't. So unless you want to do that yourself, why should you do that? Hire professionals, and that's what I did. I started investing out of state. I owned hundreds of houses in Memphis, Tennessee when the time was right. And I was living in Florida. So identify a team that you trust. You don't want to invest in Florida, don't invest in Florida, but find a market that fits your criteria. Know your criteria very clearly. What do you want? Oh, I want cash flow, I want appreciation, or do I want more appreciation cash flow? Am I 70 years old and I need cash flow right now because that's what I need to survive? Then go to a market that has very high cash flow. Oh no, I need more appreciation / cash flow because this is a 20, 30-year plan for me. Right. So identify who you are, what stage of your life you are, and identify the market and the team. Very, very important. Everything is about relationships in real estate if you know well. If I go to North Carolina, for example, where Saket is, I'm going to rely on somebody like him or somebody in that local market to let me know where is the jobs going in, where are the universities, where are actually the development heading to. Because in Orlando, Florida, or in Central Florida, I am knowledgeable. I know the city managers, I know the mayors, I know the economical development teams, and I follow this daily. So real estate, guys and girls, is local. Find a team that you trust because that's how you're going to be successful, right? And find the teams actually that manage investment property if you're looking to invest. Don't find a homeowner occupant property management company that rents to mom and pop because that's not their game. They're going to charge you more. You're going to have less leverage. For example, we have an online portal. Everybody that invests with us, they can manage their rents, their properties. They can see the repair tickets, fully transparent online. So with the internet right now, Saket, it's very, very easy for you to monitor everything from far away. And that's what we have developed.
So I think what you say, Wagner, in a very simplistic term, you are the easy button for single family investments in Orlando. Anybody who wants to.
We are, because I had that need for myself. So, I don't sell or I don't do anything for others that I wouldn't do it for myself. So I only present markets that I buy. Very, very important. And I found the need. And for example, the houses we build, Second, very, very short here. We do everything above and beyond. So my water heater is commercial or professional. Same thing you'll find in a restaurant. Our flooring, we don't use carpet. We use waterproof vinyl flooring. Our kitchens, we use granite. Stainless steel appliances. So we try to do above and beyond what is necessary so you can have a better product that will last you longer. So the key about real estate is this. It's called CapEx, capital expenditure. Make sure you buy a product that is durable enough to give you the more amount of cash flow. Because when you buy a flip, especially if you buy a 50-year-old house, let me tell you some news. Something is going to break. It's not, if, it's when. In an AC, if you have to replace an AC unit, that might be your whole year's cash flow going out of the drain. So when you buy a property, make sure you do a full thorough inspection. Or just like in my case, I don't own any old homes anymore. I only own homes that are new construction because my insurance rate is much lower because we're actually up to code on the construction codes. So for example, my insurance is about 30% of the cost of an existing insurance policy in the same area for an existing home. That doesn't comply with it.
Yeah, so that's additionally savings on the bottom line, right? Because it's all about income minus expenses. And the you're able to lower the expenses, the more you keep.
Yeah. Right? And let me tell you, guys and girls, a secret. When you go to the bank, you can be a doctor, you can be a student. The bank is not going to ask you for a report card.
They do
They're going to
not
request
care how smart you are.
They don't care how smart you are, but they will care about your balance sheet. They will care about your financial affidavit issued by your CPA. So the bottom line is this: building wealth. Real estate has made more millionaires and billionaires than any other asset class in any other markets and businesses in this country. So if you want to invest in a very wise, whatever it is, if you want to start up your company, if you want to invest in real estate, passive income is what does for me. Whatever does it for you, go ahead.
Right.
If you want to buy, Bitcoins, go ahead. I don't know anything about Bitcoins, but understand the market, understand yourself, and invest safely. I invest in real assets because if something happens, my grandfather always taught me two things you have to understand. If you build a house and something happens, you still have the house. If a hurricane comes, I still have the house. I have to fix it up. Right. So real assets is the way to go. And the second thing is you're born with a name and you die with the same name. Whatever you do throughout your life, it's up to you.
I love that, man.
So I love investing in real estate. So don't get me started here, which you already have. I love sitting here and just looking at my rent comes in. On the first of the month, it's crazy.
I think one thing, let's put things in perspective for everybody, right? Because, I've heard day in and day out that I can buy a single family home, but it's only is a keyword here, is going to give me $100 or $200 of cash flow. I'll tell you my thinking, and I would love to hear your perspective, right? Yes, if you just buy one single family, they may be correct, but you're not building this portfolio for one single family. Right, you're building a portfolio like you have hundreds of homes. I have multiple homes, multiple apartment buildings. We're not building our portfolio to buy and stop. That's not the goal. The goal is to continue building that too. If it's 200, if it's 100, it's 500, whatever you get as a cash flow, it may look very small, but you have to compound it. You have to continue doing it to make sure it get to a point where you're able to benefit from that multiple amount of cash flow coming from multiple single family homes. So just as an example, if you need $10,000 and let's say your property is throwing out $500 a month, it's not a tough math. You don't need more than 20 homes to get there.
This is the beauty that people don't understand, Zach. It's called compounding effect. Once you buy 2, 3, 4 homes, and you wait a year and a half, 2 years, usually if you invested in the right areas, that appreciation that you made on that house is already the down payment of the next house.
Correct.
So this is like owning a cow that gives birth. If you buy a property in a right area, only on the appreciation, you will make enough money. And then what you do is you do a cash out refinance or you do a home equity line and you buy and you put a down payment on a new house. So once you have 10 houses doing that, now you're buying 40 houses at a time, not 10 anymore, right? So the hardest purchases you ever make in your life is house number 1, 2, and 3.
Correct.
You never know if you're sure, if you made the right decision. You never know if the market is what you wanted it, and you're always afraid. Once you bought 3 houses and they're cash flowing, you're going to feel like a pearl when you're going to get this. But now, find the right teams. Once again, team is everything. Real estate is local. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Find a good property management company. Find a good provider. It doesn't matter if it's in Florida, if you buy it from me or not. I don't care. What I care is find the team in an area that will help you understand this market. Go to seminars, invest in yourself. Now, actually, this month, I might be joining Second in a seminar called Secrets of Successful Syndication. So if you want to learn about the market, there's several experts that can teach you or can improve your knowledge so you make less mistakes. And in reality, guys, we wake up in the morning, we make decisions every millisecond.
Right.
By the time that we open our eyes in bed, we made a decision to open our eyes when we get up. So we make decisions. The decisions that you make more effectively, that you make less mistakes, is what's going to take you more advanced than somebody else. So make less mistakes by getting more knowledge and investing in the areas that you feel comfortable, because you will be successful. Second, I'm not a smart guy. I'm a simple guy. If I made it, anybody can do it, my friend.
You're very kind on yourself. No, you're definitely smart about kind of what the insights you've shared with our team. No, we appreciate that, Wagner. Wagner, where can people find you, my friend? Because I'm sure that you've gotten the team inspired. You got my audience inspired. You got me inspired every time I talk to you about doing good in the world, about making impact in the life. So where can they find you?
So www.wagnernolasco.com, or you can actually go to my Instagram, which is wagnernolasco.official, or let us know. My personal cell phone number, if you want to send me a text, is 305-684-2222. If it takes me a little longer to answer, I'll get back to you. But whatever questions you may have, we have a whole team, Saket, to help you. But most important is the message that I want to leave to everybody here is invest in yourself, invest in your dream. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. But guess what? Today is the best day, because if you don't plant today, in 20 years, you're going to regret it.
Yeah.
Most important is this: invest, pay now to play later is my advice to you guys. Invest in yourself, invest in passive income, because that's going to multiply and it's going to make you a multimillionaire, if not a person that can actually make your decisions without any constraints. Today, I'm in a project with a doctor, orthopedic surgeon. He actually now is looking to practice medicine because he has the pleasure, but he now quit his job working for hospitals because he doesn't want to have the golden handcuffs. He doesn't want to be limited by the amount of income. So what passive income will give you, most important, is called financial freedom, for you to do whatever you want, whenever you want. It's not about the money. It's all about, do you want to take a vacation? Do you want to take a day off? Do you want to actually call in sick if you're feeling sick? And just being able to live a normal life with great pleasure is what I would love for people to do. Just wanted to say as well, me and a couple other guys were launching a project. So if you are a first responder, active duty or retired military, police, fire, nurses, we're creating projects to help you also. It's called We Got Your Six, which is a nonprofit organization that we're going to be helping and mentoring one-on-one first responders to help them get ahead. Especially, they have given us so much, our freedom in the U.S. What we have is really thanks to you guys that are first responders, active duty military, or retired, and we would like to give it back to you. It doesn't cost anything. It's free. But the only thing we ask you is this: if we're able to help you succeed, you're going to sign a contract that you're going to pay this forward, meaning you're going to have to teach others as well. That's the only thing we ask you.
Right.
So thank you, Saket, so much for having me. Hopefully, I'll be able to help other people as well to achieve their dream. I know you have helped so many. So thank you so much for the opportunity to share my story. I'm a very lucky guy coming from, a third world country, being here in this amazing country, which is the U.S., being able to have 3 daughters, a wife, my businesses, and just to do whatever I want, whenever I want. Freedom is priceless. Unless you have freedom, you don't have anything. Our countries are very limited in freedom. Just like I had to move here because my father got shot. Correct. That's so sad.
Yeah, I think you're right. I really think, Wagner, of course, I mean, you're doing an amazing job, not just with what you're doing with your businesses, but thank you for starting and sharing that We Got Your Six, which essentially means 6. We were talking about before, 6 is we got your back, right? Thank you for doing that amazing work. If there's anything we can help, of course, let us know too. And my audience would love to connect with you. I will include your contact information in the show notes. If you did not get Wagner's cell phone number, do not worry. I have it on speed dial.
Go ahead, guys. Make it happen. Take action. Invest in yourself. Believe in yourself. There's many people like Saket and myself that are here to help you. So take advantage of that. Invest in yourself. Go out there. Make it happen. Take action. That's my message to you guys.
Awesome,
Thank you, Saket,
Wagner,
so much.
If you got value from this episode, you might consider sharing this content with a friend. But most importantly, be sure to take action on what you've learned. One way you can take the next step is to connect directly with Saket on an investor call. That link is waiting for you in the show notes below.
The content of this podcast is for informational purposes only. Please consult your own advisors when making any investment decisions. Keep listening. We'll see you on the next episode.